Welcome to Grumpy Vegan Grandad. What a beautiful day. It is Wednesday. He looks at his computer, but it doesn't tell him. I'm losing track of days. Is everybody else doing this? So anyway, it is Wednesday. It's over 3 weeks now of the lockdown. And I've been binge watching a Netflix series, which is a quite old one, but part 2 is up to quite recently, and it's making a murderer about Stephen Avery case, the murder case. First of all, this guy did 18 years for a rape that he didn't do, and later DNA sequencing came in and cleared him, and then he filed a $35 million lawsuit against the government, against the state, for his incarceration. And suddenly, a little later, a couple of years later, he's up for murder. And the police plant evidence, and the police are bent as fuck. And he's still in prison over, I think it's getting on to 14 years now. He's in for life, no parole. And so is his nephew, who falsely admitted to being an accomplice to the murder. Absolute wild story. Just watch it if you've got to. There's over 20 episodes, I think, in all, in series 1, series 2. But I really resonated with it because quite a while ago now, I think it's getting on to over 4 or 5 years ago, I had not a similar, nowhere near, I didn't do time or nothing, but this is the story. So I used to be a street photographer, and I used to enjoy going around taking random photographs of buildings, of architecture, of people, just life in general, just life going on. There's millions of photos of just people just on the streets, doing the stuff, in the shop, selling, getting on, just life. And it's great to look back, like when people bring up old pictures of the 1970s of when you was a kid in your local town. It's great to look back on to see how much has changed. So that's what I used to do. I used to go around and take photos of everything I see, just anything that interested me. I'll put a few up here, actually. So as you can see, just general stuff, people going about the business. So one day I was picking my wife up from where she works in Oldham Town Centre, and I was 30 minutes early. So I had my camera with me, and I thought, I'll go and have a mooch around the Civic Centre, which is like the what is it? The council buildings. It's like a really sort of 60s, 70s building, the way it's been built. It's one of the tallest buildings in Oldham. You'll see it for miles around when you come to the Oldham area. So I thought I'll have a mooch around there. So I'm just having a mooch around, taking pictures of like, I love straight lines, and it's all square and flowing lines and everything. I'm just mooching around, just passing a bit of time. Then all of a sudden I heard this, "Oi!" And I looked round, and this guy was stomping towards me. No idea who he was. And he comes right up to me. He says, what the fucking hell are you doing? You're very aggressive. And I thought, what's this guy doing? Is he going to rob my camera? So I just snapped a few pictures off of him quick. And as I did that, he got his hand and he pushed the camera into my face. You can see how close he got on these pictures here. So I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? What are you doing taking photos? I said, I'm just taking photos. What are you taking photos of people as well? I said, well, it doesn't matter. It's not illegal. It's public property. And then a woman come out, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, God, I don't need this. So I was just going to leave it, but his attitude just stunk. And I thought, I'm not going to leave it there. So I walked into the Civic building and had a word with security there. I said, look, this guy's just pushed my camera into my face for no reason. I said, is there any reason I shouldn't be photographing him? And he says, no, it's public property. I said, why is this guy? He says, oh, he's a maintenance guy. So I'm like, oh, right. I said, well, can you have a word with him, please, and just tell him that, you know, taking photos isn't illegal. It's not a major thing. So he said, well, I'm sorry, but if he's assaulted you, should go to the police. So I thought, oh, I'm not doing that. So I walks out, and as I walk out, I see him going into this building. So I thought, right, I'll go and have a word with him myself. And I wasn't annoyed. I wasn't sort of, woo, you know. I was just like a bit miffed. I thought it's a bit out of order, that, you know. So I walks down and goes into the building. I said, does anybody know the name of that guy who's just sort of been out to see me? Well, we're not telling you. I said, oh, right, okay. So as I walked out, 2 security guys come walking over. What are you doing taking photos in here? I said, mate, look, there's nothing, it's public property, we own it. I said, I'm just taking random photographs. There's no big deal. Well, we phoned the police. And I said, well, why have you phoned the police? What's it got to do with the police? Well, we phoned them. I said, well, see you later. I've had enough. I'll go and, I wasn't going to do anything about this, but I'm going to report this guy for assaulting me now because of the way you're acting towards me. So I walked over to the police station, which is literally 3 minutes away. Walked into the police station. 2 cops pulled me into a room then. I said, what's the problem? So I've got my camera. Now this camera, it took me 2 years to buy. It was a Canon 5D Mark II, 1,500 quid, a lot of money. Plus the lens, 700 quid. It was my baby. It took me ages to save up. I worked my way up through the different cameras to this point. So I'm sat there, and then this cop goes, okay, so what's the problem? So I said, well, I want to report an assault. I said, I was taking photos and this guy come over and pushed the camera into my face. And I said, there's no damage, but can you have a word with him? Well, we want to see the photos on that camera. And I said, well, we need to sort this out first, this assault. Can we sort this out first? No, we want to see the pictures on the camera. I said, well, you're not seeing the pictures on the camera yet. We want to sort this out. So he grabs the camera and pulls it towards him, and he's still got the strap around my arm and pulls me forward. So I stands up and picks the camera up. I said, what are you doing? So then I started asking him to get a supervisor then. And unbeknown to him, I managed to click on my phone and start recording. Okay, and I've got 7 seconds of video from that because he knocked it out of my hand. And as he knocked that out of my hand, the other copper walked round behind me. Next thing I know, he's kicked me in the back. I've gone down on the floor. They both jumped on me. 4 more coppers run in the room, jump on me back. They're trying to twist my arm around my back. And then I get arrested. Well, I didn't even get arrested. They didn't even arrest me. They picked me up and then they put me in the back of a van because the cells aren't in use at Oldham Nick anymore. They're shutting it down. I'm like, what the fuck? So after 30 minutes of being sat in this van, this copper, PC Clifford, the other one was PC Turner. They came round the back, he opened the door, he said, right, you've been charged with common assault on the security guard because he says that you hit his hand with your camera and causing harassment, alarm and distress to the woman, and police assault. And I'm like, what? Carts me off, sends me down to the Nick, keeps me there as long as they possibly could, till the early hours of the morning, then fires me off. So I'm like, what the hell? So this is I think this is February. They had my camera, they had my phone. So I go to see the solicitor and he tells me it's going to cost me £2,000 to represent, but let's just see what they do first if it goes to court. So I'm like thinking, right, oh my God, where am I going to get 2K from? So a little bit further down the line, after I've given them all my details about what happened and everything, I'm trying to get my camera back and my phone, and they said, you can't have it back yet. So fair enough. I had bail, I had to go to bail, so I went to bail and had to go and see them. And then finally I get gets my phone back first. Now, when I went to pick up my phone, this copper was talking to me. And he's asking me about what happened. And I told him about these two coppers. And he said, well, I don't particularly like them anyway. And he said, what did he say? He said, just check your phone out properly. I thought, what's he talking about? Because I automatically thought that they'd just go through my phone and get rid of anything that they didn't want. So I gets home and looks through my phone, and lo and behold, there's this 7 seconds of video still on my phone, which I thought they would have deleted. They're not supposed to, but I thought. So I shows this solicitor, and he says, brilliant, this is really good. Because by that time, we'd had their report. So their report said this. They said that I came in, obviously, really annoyed and frustrated. I weren't arsed. I just wanted to report this little shit, you know. We then asked him, explained to him the Terrorism Act, which they didn't, and said we wanted to see the pictures on his camera. He refused and started getting aggressive, kicked his chair over, started shouting abuse, and so we had no choice but to pin him down and secure him and put handcuffs on him. The other coppers that come running in said they heard this massive commotion of me kicking off and shouting and swearing and kicking off, so they felt they had to come in to help. Well, let me show you this video. Get your supervisor down here, mate. Get your supervisor down here. Okay, because the whole incident lasted about 4 minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes. So, as you can see, this copper at the back is PC Turner. He's circling around behind me to get in position behind me to get me on the floor, because they know what they're going to do. Now, in their report, they say that these other coppers heard the commotion going on. But you look, there, he's on his radio. He's on his radio calling for backup for what he's going to do. And I'm shouting, I'm asking for a supervisor. Get your supervisor down here, mate. Get your supervisor down here. I'm shouting I'm saying, get me a supervisor, because I feel what they're doing is wrong, which they were. So anyway, a little bit further down the line, the police don't know about this video. So I finally get a call from my solicitor. This is after about 3 months. And he says, okay, Danny, they're dropping the assault charge, the common assault charge on the security guard. They're dropping the harassment, alarm and distress charge. I think it was. Harassment and alarm. And I thought, well, bro, because it never happened. It was me who was alarmed and distressed. Excuse me. But the going ahead with the police assault. And what they said was, during the assault, they asked me to give them the camera, and when I refused, I hit this PC Clifford on the arm, and it hurt him so bad. There weren't any marks or nothing. So that was it. I was going to court for police assault, and it went on for ages. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to lose my job, my new job with BT. I'm going to lose my income, my house. And I got totally depressed about it, totally depressed. Really fearful. And it's that thought, and this is the key, it's that thought of being innocent of doing what they said I'd done. That is the worst bit of the injustice. That was a bit that really sort of got to me, got in my head, is this injustice. They've made up these charges. I even went to see a friend of mine who's been in the police for over 20 years. And when he looked at the statements, he said, these are bullshit. These are absolute bullshit. So fast forward to about, I think it was July, August time. Pleaded not guilty. got a payday loan to pay the 1,200 quid solicitor fees, and then to use this video in court, I had to get it forensically removed off my phone so that the prosecution couldn't say I'd messed with the footage. This should have been 500 quid, but the guy who does the forensic work felt sorry for me and did it for 250 quid. So we're talking 1,500 quid to fight this case. And the court case came, went in court, and what happened was the monitors weren't working properly, so they had to literally sort of get this CD and plug it into a big TV in the courtroom at the back of the court, because that was the only one that was working. They brought the two coppers in. They said, can you just watch this video? So they turned around and they're watching this video, and you could see the whole demeanour drop like that. They just both sort of reacted to it like, oh shit, because they were that up their own fucking asses that they didn't even bother to look at the evidence that we brought, because they thought they'd just believe us. So they got them on the stand and they ripped them to bits. They couldn't tell me which arm I hurt. They couldn't tell me the timeline of everything. They got everything wrong. This cop, Clifford, was sweating in the dock. And the prosecution even said, oh, I see you're very hot there. Is it because the sun's shining through the window? Can we shut these curtains a little bit? Bullshit. He was sweating because he was lying. Anyway, went through, did all the evidence, and it came back not guilty. Thank you, British justice system, to a point. Bearing in mind it cost me 1,500 quid all in. I was found not guilty. We put in for costs. All they could give me was 700 quid. So to prove my innocence, it cost me 700 quid. Gone. Plus the interest on the payday loan. Then after that, I had major problems. It just all hit me at once. And this little bit of depression I had while I was waiting for this case to come, this little bit of fear and mental torture, it manifested itself, and it wasn't good. I didn't feel right all the time. I felt like crying. I was spaced out. So I went to see the doctors, and the doctor said, it sounds like you've got PTSD or depression or whatever. Do you want to see a therapist? Do you want antidepressants? And I thought, well, I haven't got time to keep going seeing a therapist. So I went on antidepressants, and I did those for 6 months, and then I weaned off them because I didn't feel good taking tablets. And to this day, I feel I'm a little bit affected by it. I think I've got over it now, and it still grinds me gears. And watching something like this, Making Murderer, just stirred up all that emotion again. And this is why I wanted to make this video. But there's another side to this as well, and it's for you people out there, is especially those who are into vegan activism or maybe doing vigils or protests, okay? This 7 seconds of footage stopped me getting a conviction for police assault. I don't think I would have won it if it hadn't have been for that. Because number one, it put them off. It caught them by surprise. Number two, there was a little bit of evidence there showing that I wasn't doing what I was doing, that they said I was doing. So my advice to everybody out there is, any interaction with police, and I mean any, always film. Always have your camera on video. Even if it's just a friendly chat, you have got a perfect legal right to film the police or any other authority figure, any civil servant. You have the right to film them. They cannot stop you. They cannot arrest you for it. They cannot do you for it. Always film the police. Always. And always keep a record of what is said if you have any interaction with the police. You can film on public property or take photos on public property of anything, anyone, whether it's child, adult, pensioner, it does not matter. Anybody on public property invites themselves to be filmed or photographed. That's the law. Photography is not a crime. Videoing is not a crime. If it was, there would be no CCTV cameras, because the law doesn't distinguish between a CCTV camera for a shop's safety and me filming for my safety. So there you go, a little story for you, but with a happy ending, sort of. Bit bittersweet, that ending. But yes, final point, any interactions, anything you do that's borderline, sort of could be construed as maybe illegal, film it, give yourself evidence, because everything is evidence-based. You crying, shouting, lying, whatever, doesn't stand up in court. Everything is evidence-based when it comes to the legal system. And especially with the amount of corrupt cops out there. Clifford and Turner are both corrupt police. They lied in court. They perjured in court, but nothing was done to them. And I think some of you may be asking, well, didn't you try to sue them? Well, yes, but I was a little bit naive, right? I did a complaint to the police control board or whatever it is, I forgot what it is. I did one to them and they came back to me and said, no, our police didn't do anything wrong. And then I went to the IPCC, Independent Police Complaints Department Commission, whatever, and they come back to me and said, no, that we couldn't find anything wrong with what they did, even though like they attacked me for no reason. So I didn't pursue it any further. Now it's gone past the 5-year date, I think it is. But I found out later I could have sued them. I could have sued them for wrongful arrest. I could have sued them for kidnap, false imprisonment. But I didn't. Now maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Would I want to be on the wrong side of corrupt police who are still out there doing the job? But be warned, always film the police, always. Save the animals, save the planet, save yourself. Go vegan and always film the police. Be vegan, Grandad.